about the Black past. Historians have done some incredible work in finding ways to tell Black women's stories. Often they have done so by writing against one-sided historical records that would otherwise map these women only in the barest sense. Still, through these materials, we have come to know Black women as laborers, unfree or impoverished domestics and field hands. We know them as victims of rape, sexual exploitation, and other forms of violence. We encounter these women as problems, subjects that shame the race or are used to pathologize it. We understand them as displaced, those denied civil rights, protection, access, and justice. We glorify them as freedom fighters, resisting enslavers and corrupt authority figures. We do our best to animate them as club women, as mothers and wives, as sexual beings, as queer, as entrepreneurs, as artists, as sanctified, as activists, and as teachers and legislators. Indeed, historians of African American women's experiences have done much with very little. Yet even as I have laughed, cried, and cheered aloud while learning about Black women's tribulations and triumphs, I have also found myself yearning for histories that permit Black women to be fully visible, fully legible, fully human, and thus vulnerable, damaged, and flawed. Most of our stories, my own research included, are often one-dimensional portraits. We piece together fragments of lives and events, good, bad, and traumatic, but rarely do we stumble across figures or sources that sustain richer accounts. Few records reflect the historical difficulties that bisected Black women's lives at the same time they reveal in nuanced ways how Black women managed to survive between heroism and heartache. We have precious few examples of Black women who lived as people with depression and joy, with desire and love, as well as contempt and rage. We do not have many stories of individual women who lived for themselves and did not put the race or their children or families first. And we certainly do not have tales about African American women who were very good at being very bad. Enter Hannah Mary Tabbs. Though Tabbs is appealing not just because she is a kind of anti-hero, equally compelling is the fact that while the circumstances of white supremacy and anti-Black violence encapsulated Tabbs' life, the case and all of its macabre elements do not depict her or other African Americans as existing solely in opposition to or engaging with white people. Rather, this crime opens a window onto violence within the Black community and shows how that violence is deeply rooted in the pervasive racism of the criminal justice system. The 1887 murder, then, serves as an evocative meditation on both the vicissitudes and rewards of violence as deployed by Hannah Mary Tabbs, because Tabbs, as the Philadelphia investigation would reveal, used physical aggression and intimidation in ways that afforded her power and agency in Black enclave communities. Simultaneously, Hannah Mary's prolific record of violence, as fearsome as it appears, also seems to have been an artifice of her profound vulnerability. Black women such as Tabbs were at tremendous risk for violence and sexual assault because the legal system so often failed to protect them. Being formidable in her home and neighborhood, reprehensible though her actions may have been, nonetheless had a practical function. Further, her record of brutality, existing largely in the absence of detailed information about her early life, may well constitute evidence of her otherwise unknowable past, in the sense that she had to have had prior experiences of violence to learn how to wield it so deftly. With this in mind, I consider Hannah Mary Tabbs' life and her more troubling behaviors. Even so, despite this analytical approach and rigorous historical investigation, there is much about Hannah Mary Tabbs and her crimes that will ultimately remain a mystery. Chapter 1. Handle with Care. Most people who have seen the body agree that it is that of a Negro of rather light color, but there are others who assert that it is that of a Portuguese or an Italian, and a theory that obtained a great deal of credence was that it was the trunk of a Chinaman or Japanese. Evening Bulletin, February 18, 1887.